This pull request looks completely normal. A tiny fix, a clean description, nothing weird. But hidden inside that description is a comment you literally cannot see. And the moment you ask your AI to review it, that invisible text takes over your agent and walks it straight into projects the attacker was never allowed to touch. Before the drama, the honest part. This is research from a firm called Manifold Security. It's a proof of concept, not something loose in the wild. There's no patch yet and no CVE. And it needs a few things lined up. The attacker has to be able to write to a project, a reviewer with more access has to point an AI at it, and that AI has to be set to act without asking. So, not a random stranger on the internet. But if you run agents on your code, this is exactly your setup. Here's the setup. Microsoft ships an official MCP server so your AI agent can read and drive Azure DevOps for you. Pull requests, pipelines, wikis, work items. And it does all of that with your permissions. That's the whole point and also the whole problem. Content other people wrote can become instructions your agent acts on using your access. The trick is dead simple. Azure DevOps descriptions accept Markdown, and Markdown allows HTML comments. In the web page, an HTML comment renders as nothing, invisible, but the REST API returns it word for word, and the server hands that raw text straight to the model. So the human scrolling the PR sees a clean change. The model sees a to-do list from the attacker. So the reviewer asks the agent to review. The hidden text rewrites its goal. And because the agent carries the reviewer's credentials, it can reach across projects the attacker can't. In the demo, one hidden comment triggers a pipeline in a different project, reads a confidential wiki page the attacker cannot open, and posts that page back as a comment on the pull request where the attacker just reads it. Every single call was one the agent was allowed to make. That's why it's called a confused deputy. The agent isn't hacked. It's obedient. And here's the part that makes this more than a generic warning. Microsoft already built the defense. It's called spotlighting. You wrap untrusted content in delimiters so the model can tell data apart from instructions. Their own guidance recommends it. They added it in a pull request, and the wiki tool and the build log tool both run their output through it. But the function that returns a pull request, it never calls the wrapper. It hands back the description raw. The guardrail was in the building. It just skipped one door. This pattern isn't new. Back in May 2025, Invariant Labs pulled the same move on GitHub's MCP server, using a public issue to push an agent into a private repo and leak it. Simon Willison has a name for the recipe: the lethal trifecta. An agent with private data, exposure to untrusted content, and a way to send data out. Any agent with all three can be turned on its owner by one piece of text. And most genuinely useful agents have all three. It gets worse as teams automate reviews, so no human even kicks it off. The planted comment just fires on its own. To be fair to Microsoft, they have a point. They thanked Manifold, called it a known class of AI risk, and noted the attacker already needs write access and a second person to run the tool. Their advice: limit project access and review changes before letting AI act on them. The catch, of course, is that the payload here is invisible in the exact interface a human reviews. So the Real defense is boring and it works. Give the agent least privilege tokens. Scope it to just the project under review. Only load the tools the job needs. A code review does not need to trigger pipelines. A human who cannot see the payload is not a control. The lesson underneath all of this: a guardrail that wraps untrusted content one function at a time is only as strong as its least covered path. And on a tool surface that keeps growing, gaps like this open faster than anyone thinks to audit them. If you want one clear breakdown of a real AI agent attack every single day, subscribe and turn on notifications. It's free, and it's the one button that tells me to keep making these. Then go watch that one next. I'll see you tomorrow. If this was useful, subscribe. New AI agent and security breakdowns every day.